If you're joining us right now, are we on?
As far as I know.
Oh, we have. If you're joining us right now, here at,
Is that your NPR voice?
it is my NPR voice,
Welcome
and
to
coming up,
All Things. I'm too tired to even come up with a word for that now.
all things dangling. It's your host, Ter-
Is that where we're going to start tonight?
Terry Gross Point Blank. Uh, and today we're going to talk with nose hair trimmer designer Schwinn Garstudrund, a Puerto Rican immigrant who was born in a tornado. Hey there. All right. What we got? Well, my phone just popped up and said, Bombs and Bants is on.
So you've been notified that our podcast has started. That's good. I like the fact of that.
The phone just went bzzz. Well, wango is a tango. All right. So I'm sorry. If you don't want to hear this nonsense, you can skip ahead about 4.5 to 5 minutes, and you should be right through the intro and into the rest of the disorganized nonsense.
I
But
do
you
have
can
the
sit here
actual
and talk.
clock that I can put up here for you. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
for everybody else. You and
four
I can
minutes.
see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant.
Well,
Hey, Mark. You are on live, and we are at T minus 3 minutes and change. How are you doing?
oh, not bad. So, how's it? How are you guys doing?
Um, well, the missus is a mite tired, but we'll get into that in the
Yeah.
bantering
Yeah.
portion. Um, I am not. I'm feeling pretty good. And Jim Wetzel is here, and he says I always enjoy hearing the orchestra tuning up. Thank you, Jim.
And here just for Jim.
Massive cannibalism.
On the pregame, no less.
Oh, you're going to have to bring more than just massive cannibalism to keep this alive. And I've heard that YouTube, for the first minute or two, monitors the words you say to determine how much they promote you. Not like that matters for us. Let's be honest. Let's
I know,
just be
right?
honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tim Turner's here.
Hello.
Well, we just have to badmouth Disney for the first few minutes,
Oh
and
no,
then
no, you can't. I've
they'll
got
get us
actual,
all.
I've got Disney comment kind of stuff, but it's like buried three. It's like the bottom third of the show.
I
Oh,
like
okay. Well, I
turtle.
was just saying, if we badmouth them at the very beginning of the show, then that YouTube algorithm will pick that up and get you lots of links.
Yeah, lots of links. And Tim says, "Hi, Mrs. Hi, Mark."
Hey,
I'm the one that watches the chat while we do this, because I am the multitasker. I am Juan Multitasker.
yeah, I'm doing it over a mobile device, so I can't see the chat, so I never get
Oh.
to see.
And I've got two screens up. And
You
I've
left
got-
our needy dog
Well,
outside,
aren't
didn't
you
you?
special?
I did. I didn't leave it outside. I put it outside.
The one who's screaming because he doesn't like to be by himself, because the fat one is sitting right here on the floor beside me.
And there's nothing that scares a predator off rather than scared screaming. That
I
will
know,
make the
yeah.
predator scare.
Poor dog.
Well, there's a cat out there that you can play with.
Play with.
Oh,
Yeah, speaking of which, we do have a cat swap in the works for those who have been following the
Cats.
cat saga. So T-Bone moved into his own place, and in the middle of June, when he moved into his own place, he had no cats. Now he has 2 cats, and he's about to have 3 more, which are 3 of our cats that are going to move to his house, and then we're going to get a kitten.
sounds like a country and western song.
I know, doesn't it?
I got nearly a 6-pack of cats. $1 don't buy a damn bit of coal. And they're north of
The dog is going to scream the entire time we're on. I can hear him down here.
I can't hear him. He sounds fine.
I know, because you're in a room with the door closed.
I am. All right. We are
We'll
very
have to
close.
we'll have to find that book, 101 Uses for Dead Cats, and
I do have that, I think, somewhere. I'd have to find that one.
They aren't dead. They're just, throw pillow-esque in their movements.
Yes. Well,
They
they're
consume a lot of food for dead cats. Yeah.
we got movie sign. We got movie sign.
We do have movie sign.
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to the 97th live edition of 98th. We're Bombs and Bants 98. Live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I am your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is Mark.
hey, how's everyone doing?
And the missus in the deep
Hello.
bunker
Yes, in the bunker.
at an undisclosed location near the bowels of the earth. And speaking of bowels of
Well,
the
I
earth,
am sitting next to a fat dog, so that
indeed. So you had no time for show prep this week. You had like
zero
20
time.
Yeah. So
The most time I had was tonight, and it was in about the last 45 minutes.
Mhm.
So,
Not unexpected. Not unexpected. Oh, and I hear Pugsley
yep.
toddling through the door. You want me to text him to tell him to pick up the fat dog?
The fat dog went upstairs. He needs to bring the screamy dog in that's outside.
No, the fat dog goes out.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would stop the other dog from screaming.
Okay. Can you still hear it, Clarice?
All right.
No, that's funny. All right, text Pugsley
This is scintillating podcasting
dog
while you're sitting there
out.
texting someone while we're on the podcast.
All right.
Well, I could show some of the things that I brought. I meant to
that's what
bring
I was
this
waiting
one.
for.
I meant to bring this one last week, and I forgot about it. So I thought, that'll work. I'll save this for this week. This is really just kind of cool. This is from flooding in Norway. Have you ever wanted to see a house floating away and get smashed on a bridge? You're in luck. Here it is. It's pretty cool, actually. It has no sound. I mean, it did originally, but I didn't feel it. I felt that it took away from the overall aesthetic of the house mashing into the bridge.
So they got mobile homes in Norway too, huh?
I know, right?
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's
And we're not
a real
done.
disaster.
We have to watch it on the
It's
other
not a real
side too.
disaster until some mobile homes get smashed or ripped apart or something.
Yeah.
That's some carnage. Bye bye, broken house.
Yeah, I see her that.
And now here we have a camper.
They have a caravan. Oh, James May must be inside.
I like how the kids are there watching everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
would
mean,
you miss that? Come on.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes, indeed.
And then other things that we talked about in the podcast last week, because we talked about the woman who was mowing her lawn innocently, minding her own business, and a snake fell out of the sky on her, started trying to bite her in the eyes. And then as she was battling the snake, while on the riding lawnmower, a hawk came down and attacked her because apparently the hawk had been carrying the snake, dropped the snake, and wanted the snake back. Okay, so that's where we are. That needed to be put on a flag, so I diligently went to work on that, and lo, there's the flag.
I like it.
As
And
requested on the Mexican flag. Yes.
Yes, because that's essentially the Mexican flag, but because she's kind of like a rock because
Yeah,
she has a snake.
That's true. That's true. But I decided that it might get us in less trouble with the powers that be at YouTube if we just made our own B&B flag, Bombs and Bants, in our own colors. And it could just
There
be
you
right
go.
There you go.
I think you ought to sell the Mexican flag version on the store because I want one.
I think that
And-
actually maybe you can buy flags. I'll have to look into that.
Oh, that would be the best to have those as a Mexican
An
flag.
actual flag.
Oh, that. You know, I've never seen the backside of a Mexican flag. What does it look like? Probably Guatemala.
know.
I don't know. Anyway, let's carry on.
It's just a naked butt poking through, like, you know.
Yeah. It's the butt of the eagle.
That's what the back of our flag could look like.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Codex notes tea towels. That would be wonderful for a tea towel.
Yes. Yes. What a fantastic idea. I'll have to look into that.
All right. Well, do you have more goodies for us?
That's all the funnies and chuckle stuff that I have. I do have some serious stuff though, if you want to get into that. I mean, of things I was gonna. Well, I don't know if it's gonna bring you down. It's not depressing.
So don't bring me down. Bruges.
Right. Well, okay. So more Trump indictments this week, right?
Let's,
Well, you asked. That's why I told you before the podcast started what I had. How did you think that wasn't the next thing I was going to go to?
Let's hear. Mark, give us a situation update. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I want to hear more about the Trump's stuff.
See?
Well,
That was a lead-in.
Okay. Well, Trump.
Here, and this one's for Wilder.
We can explain it more slowly if you need us to.
So are you ready for that?
Okay,
Okay, so Alan Dershowitz went on MSNBC and talked about this. And, you know, had some legal insight, right? So here was the Hill's headline. Dershowitz predicts there will be some convictions after fourth Trump indictment. Oh, that sounds pretty serious and bad, right? Here was the Fox headline of the same story. Dershowitz slams Georgia indictment, says Trump used same tactic as Al Gore in 2000s, not a crime. And here is what Dershowitz actually said.
You use the key word. This is a novel prosecution. What I used to tell my students is prosecutors ought to be C students, not A students. Prosecutors have to go with the law as it is. Nothing novel, nothing unique. Now, if you want to multiply that 10 times, when you're going after the man who is the leading candidate to run against the current president of the United States, you have to have the most mundane, most convincing, most traditional, most precedential case imaginable. You cannot stretch the law. You cannot be creative. You cannot try to be novel. In the end, it's conceivable she might win the case, but she's known for stretching the law and being novel.
Now the question is, which one of those headlines more accurately represents what he just said?
Neither, really. It's like the people who were...
Well, the whole thing is like 6 minutes long, and we didn't have time to listen to Dershowitz talk for 6 minutes, but...
Yeah, it sounds like they're using the infamous witch defense from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Right.
So, if we toss her in the water and she floats, she's a duck. Ooh, a witch. What else floats? Yeah, it ends up being heavier than a duck. It was a fair trial. Okay. Do we want to continue on? Because I have to think real fast.
It was a resounding round of indifference from the peanut gallery.
Well, think real fast.
Okay.
Think real fast.
Notice this means we won't have a Jackass of the Week unless it's me, which is probably going to be the case. All right. As the NFL prepares for sport, Trump promises a report. But please allow me to retort. Donald Trump is promising a complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on election fraud in Georgia on Monday. Mark, do you think it'll really just be another release of new Trump digital trading cards?
It could be. We get promised a lot of stuff and then it never shows up.
It'll be the best. This will be the best news. And it'll be pictures of him on the moon. The missus...
I don't know. Maybe it'll be Stacey Abrams' fraud.
And the thing that killed me is, they couldn't even bother to print these cards. They had to be digital because that cost us exactly
that's
nothing.
the trendy thing, though. There was like some gorilla that they did this with. I think people lost a lot of money on it, shockingly enough, right?
Codex notes it's been turned around. He does weigh as much as a duck. Actually, I think he weighs more than a duck, so thus he will be acquitted. All right. Let's see. The missus, your question: are you expecting this will be as successful as Trump wine or Trump steaks?
Wait, those were things?
Yes. He doesn't drink, and of course, he has the best wine. It's Trump wine. You can even find the commercials.
That I think we need to look up. We need commercials for Trump wine.
Yes. Well, go ahead and you can play the YouTube if you want to, because it's just kind of hilarious watching someone who doesn't drink talk about the quality of Trump wine.
See, I type that in every time I do it. It's a keyboard shortcut that triggers our open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jim Wetzel does note the indictments will continue until morale improves. And while you find the Trump wine, I can set this up. Next one up. Put it in a jar of bomb and it'd be huge. The vote is far away, but right here today, Chris Christie has moved into second place in the Republican poll in New Hampshire. Mark, do you think Christie got to move on because he heard that the buffet was running out of food?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's second place. What's that mean? He's got like 2% of the people supporting him.
Yeah. Well, it's in New Hampshire too, so it's essentially.
Okay.
I think that Chris Christie has the best chance of winning states with new in New Jersey, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New Caledonia, New South Wales.
So basically the states that
don't really have Republicans. Yeah.
Well, no, the states that actually would do the witch test with a duck and a woman and see which one floated.
Jim Watson notes that second place better be pretty damn wide. Oh, the missus, your question. Shall we start calling Chris number 2?
Well, if the big old pants fit, wear it.
I'm a tool. I'm a tool. I'm a tool, an unbelievably annoying tool.
All right. And so
that just in from Chris Christie.
There you go. Both of you have a Chris Christie question, and I want you to discuss this. If Chris Christie eats DeSantis, will that make him an invulnerable super candidate?
He could probably swallow DeSantis, and all that would be sticking out of his mouth would be DeSantis's little boots.
Hey, he's twice the man DeSantis is. If not more.
He actually does look like he's lost a few pounds on the campaign trail.
He must have gone number 2.
Show me who you work for, number 2. All right, but we did talk about Chris eating DeSantis, so that should cue
fecal matter.
Well, eventually.
What?
But massive cannibalism.
Oh. Well, see, I already played that, so it was,
Massive cannibalism.
Right. Not just massive, it's just a massive person committing cannibalism.
Well, that counts. I think that's
okay.
like the closest we've had.
Okay.
Yep. Jim Wetzel asked this question, and this is a perfect time for it. Any special plans for episode 100, week after next? And Mark, what do you think?
Oh, geez, I hadn't even thought about that. I didn't realize we were that close to 100. Man, I feel old now. Maybe we do a geriatric version.
You can tell you're not Joe Biden because you feel old. Get it opposite. Okay, no, sorry.
Hey, Biden is young at heart. Okay, he keeps that way because he keeps sniffing the hair of young girls.
He's inhaling their essence.
Yeah.
So many jokes, places I'm going. So should we do something special? I think we should cogitate about that afterwards and think about the specialness that is imbued by large round decimal numbers.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. Oh, we're off to my favorite country. Is there too much pain in Zelensky's brain because the end is probably near for the war in Ukraine? NATO is openly suggesting that Zelensky give up and let the Russians have Donetsk, Donbass, and the Crimea. Zelensky is apparently pretty sad because he ran away from the negotiating table. Mark, here's your question. Why couldn't NATO have brought a nicer table? Maybe one with some wood grain and a silky finish that was so mesmerizing that Zelensky would just lose himself in it and be hypnotized and couldn't leave the table.
And was also covered in coke?
No, they did actually. It's you might not have heard this, but they actually did bring a nicer table, but it disappeared and got resold on the black market.
No. Only went to unpainted Ukraine.
Now, Zelensky, obviously, I don't think he really intended on winning the war, because otherwise he would have devoted a lot more effort trying to destroy that bridge between Crimea and Russia.
True enough. The missus.
I mean, all seriousness.
Oh, go ahead. Well, keep going.
No. I mean, just in all seriousness, because that would have left the Russian supply line then having to come down through I can't remember, it's a highway or railroad, but anyway, that runs very close to the front lines, and would have allowed them to interdict or destroy incoming traffic much easier. So.
Oh, indeed. The missus, here's your question.
Okay.
Do you think Zelensky is do you still think Zelensky is the Antichrist? But given his failures, do you think he might just be the anti-Elvis at this point?
It's possible, because I would expect more competence from the Antichrist.
You'd expect him to be better.
I would.
I bet his singing is awful, so he must be anti-Elvis.
Oh, shuck it, duck it now.
All right, and so I have a
I didn't
Zelensky
think that was
question
going to play. Okay.
I have a Zelensky question for both of you. Do you think Zelensky's application to join the Lollipop Guild will be revoked?
I think he's too tall.
I think that after he shares the coke, I think he'll be admitted back in.
See, I think he's too tall. I don't even think he would qualify for midget hammer fighting.
See, yeah, I think he wears lifts. I think he's actually about 3'1".
Oh, so, maybe he could do like a Zuckerberg Musk boxing match with Ron DeSantis.
Ooh, they can both take turns punching Trump in the knee.
Yes, they could hammer fight.
Yes,
that would be amazing.
And Chris Christie gets to eat the leftovers.
He'll lick the mat clean.
Cage fight. That was from Codex, was Cage fight. Now, Jim Wetzel did have a suggestion for our 100th episode. It was a drinking episode. And he said, after every joke, all three of you take a drink. My response to him was, what makes you think I don't? And he said something very nice. He said, I don't believe it. John Wilder's always cool, calm, and in command. That's because I have a liter of beer. I have a liter of beer next to me.
It's a liter of beer.
It's a liter of beer. That's from
yes, just like Nero Wolf, big lager there to get your nerves working correctly, so you can puzzle out all the secrets.
Okay, so I will describe the. I do have a liter of beer next to me. Well, it's not a liter now, but it is a large glass boot, and it's a liter-sized glass boot. It's about it's over a foot high, and it's got a liter of beer in it. And it's kind of fun to drink out of. So, yep, I really have.
But now you're down to the toes?
No, I am kind of mid calf. You know, I'm still above, still above the muscles in the back, but you know, it's going down. All right, we have more, don't we? Oh, still more Ukraine news. The latest rumor is fighter deal is a fizz, and there won't be any F-16s going to Ukraine until at least summer 2024. Mark, do you think he should have had a V8 instead?
He could have gotten it faster, that's for sure.
The missus? How many refunds?
No refunds. And he could have a V8. The best he can do is a Lada.
You can have Lada. It's very good. Put wings on it. Fly 20, 30 feet. Not up in the air, but 20, 30 feet horizontally.
Well, I mean, if you have a catapult.
And cleef.
Boing.
Boing.
Oh wait, I do have sound for that. Hang on, I got it. I don't got it. No, I do. There it goes.
You brave Ukrainian Air Force up in the air again. And so both of you, since it is Ukraine summer, and we've been hearing about the touted summer Ukrainian offensive, Mark, how do you give it grade this summer?
The offensive?
Yes.
I don't think they got anywhere. In fact, I think last I read they actually lost some territory to the Russians. So I'll give it an F minus.
An F minus. The misses. What are your thoughts on the vaunted Ukrainian summer offensive?
Well, we're boned.
And
so I read an interesting article, and I can't remember who it was by, but I thought it was great. And it talked about our military industrial complex, and it said, the problem is our weapons don't exist to win wars; they exist to be blown up. Because after they've been blown up, then you have to make a new one. So we make Abrams so that they blow up, not because we need Abrams to win a war, just so that we can blow up more Abrams, so that General Dynamics can make more Abrams. And likewise with missiles. Oh, we make missiles not to, injure the enemy, but so that we can shoot the missiles. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Is that what Ukraine is? Is just a obsolete weapon? I don't know. It's like cleaning out the pantry.
it's a jobs program. It's the best economy we've had. It's not so terrible, Biden. It's the best economy we've had. Millions of jobs.
And ice cream cones.
Yes.
No, I think to a large extent it is. I mean, I think I've noted before that our policy toward wars is not to win wars, but to just keep everything churned up so that nobody wins, including the enemy. I don't know. That seems to be all it is just to sort of grind everything. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Every time they shoot a missile, Raytheon gets to, cha-ching, another couple 100,000 to a couple million, depending on what type of missile.
Would it be completely cynical to say that I would agree with you, Mark, there? And I think that we fight. No, that, and I would add this on to the end of it, is that we do that to that extent, and that we make sure that only enough Americans die that we can blame those deaths on whoever is currently in power, but not so much that people want to do something about it.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
And it's and because it's a volunteer force, it even has less impact than otherwise. I mean, if we're drafting people to go do that type of crap, people would be screaming to high heaven.
Right.
And Kodak's notes, 10% for the big guy. Sweet economy. Am I right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, let's switch gears from one country invading another to us invading another country. Dateline Haiti, home of refugees created by Haiti.
Are we going to get into a war with Haiti? We might be able to win that.
Oh, no. Listen,
oh, no, you're right. You're right. What we were just discussing.
Okay.
Listen
to this one.
Okay.
Most Haitians don't have a bankroll because they live in an S-hole and can't even afford a wash bowl. New poll out says that Haitians want to be invaded by, anyone to save them from the Haitians. So the Haitians want to be invaded by us to save them from the Haitians. So, Mark, do you think we should just hold back and just bomb them into democracy instead? Or just airdrop hungry lions from Kenya?
No, see, you're misunderstanding the history. They are a democracy. In fact, Haiti is the oldest black democracy in the world. They're almost as old as the United States. They're doing a wonderful job. I think let them continue. They don't need us.
Again,
it's racist. It's racist for us to even think about going in and involving ourselves in there, because that implies that they can't handle the problem. They can't do it themselves. But I don't think we should be racist.
You can't argue that both of my suggested solutions airdropping hungry lions from Kenya or just bombing them would actually be a net improvement to their civilization.
Well, maybe we can drop in something else that's from Kenya, like Obama.
But I heard the Clintons raised millions for them. What happened to that? I thought it should have made it all better.
Well, it's expensive, running a child sex ring. So.
Oh my.
Well, we're going to be kicked off YouTube now.
No, it's just Mark won't be joining us anymore. He's been interred in the Epstein wing.
He's in YouTube jail.
The missus, here's your question on that one.
Okay.
The missus, do you think that they should just bring in Zelensky as ruler? He can get money moving.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to get rid of a bunch of Haitians, Zelensky's your guy to do it. He's done a pretty good job of doing that with Ukrainians.
So you're saying Zelensky will fight Haiti with Haitians down to the last Haitian?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, well, speaking of...
Actually, I have an idea. Why don't we take all the surplus Haitians, move them to Guantanamo Bay, and then this is how you kill two birds with one stone. And then we just give Guantanamo back to Cuba.
You're saying like Jack in the Box? Big surprise for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in Cuba they've got the socialism / communism / dictator. I mean, I think they'd be great.
You just segued right into my next Think Real Fast item. Kim is in a spin saying shorts aren't a win. North Korea is back in the news after having won the title of Best Korea, as it now punishes women for wearing shorts, declaring that shorts are capitalist fashion. I am not making up any of this story at all. Mark, is this a good look for North Korea since they're rejecting feminism?
I think it is a good look, because if you ever see someone who's suffering from severe malnutrition and starvation, they really don't look very good in shorts.
They could be supermodels in the U.S., though.
So you're saying keep the North Koreans out of the shorts? Keep North Korean women out of the shorts because they're ugly?
I'm just saying
you're up to you to defend that one, Mark.
Just telling you, that's what I got out of that one. It's not like the Koreans list.
People that are starving to death just don't look good in shorts. That's all I'm saying.
I will diffuse this situation by moving on to the missus.
I don't feel comfortable with that.
The opposite's just the same way.
Why has Best Korea got a better rocket launch rate than NASA?
Because they cheated on the exam? I don't know.
Because they don't have cost plus contracting.
I have no response to that.
Jim Wetzel knows back in the old days they could be supermodels. And now Lizzo's a supermodel. Which I think if she made it to Korea, she would likewise be eaten. I will note this. Pugsley and I watched The Last Train to Busan, which was about a zombie outbreak in South Korea. And it was a pretty good movie.
I've seen that one. That's the one that has the really hard to believe plot twist at the end. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's not bad. But the point
that was difficult to swallow for me.
Well, the point I was making is I got on Google and I looked at Google Maps and I was looking at South Korea, and it's like a city from the DMZ. And why do you call it demilitarized zone the most militarized zone in the world? But anyway, from the DMZ all the way down, it's like solid city. It's just, I thought, there's no worse place in the world to be caught in a zombie apocalypse. So then I looked north of the DMZ and I looked at North Korea and I looked at these verdant landscapes and all these trees and all this natural preserve. And I thought, looks like North Korea is the liberal paradise, the leftist paradise they always wanted. So I'll just drop that there.
Oh, so speaking of leftist paradise, this is kind of on topic, but yet off topic. Did you hear about the most recent episode of The Simpsons that ran last weekend?
I haven't watched The Simpsons since 2000.
Neither was I, and I just heard about it because I haven't
Okay.
watched it. And this was one of the things. Actually, if I had done a Jackass this week, this would have been one of the nominees for Jackass. It was an entire episode about how great socialism is. They had Robert Reich on. That blowhard, and that's a good term for him.
Now he is short enough to be in midget hammer fighting. Again, that man in lifts is, comes up to my belly button.
Yeah.
Well, I won't tell you how I know that. All right.
Anyway, and it was all about economics, and the episode ends, apparently, with groundskeeper Willie saying, the only solution is that we burn it all down. And Bart says, burn it down, cool, and he takes a lighter. And then Willie goes, no, not literally, but we have to burn the system down. Fade to black.
There you go. Yep.
The freaking Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, they were never for us. They were never on our side.
The Simpsons stopped being funny when Lisa became a liberal douchebag, which was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think we were still in the 20th century when that happened.
All right. Well, speaking of liberal douchebags, and again, this one might get us banned. Snow White has started a fight because she's a mite stupid. Actress Rachel Ziegler has gone on record saying, "We absolutely." This isn't a direct quote from her. We absolutely wrote a Snow White that she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. Then Rachel went on to say that all the scenes featuring Prince Charming could get cut. Mark, is Disney attempting to destroy itself because it has depression and just won't seek treatment?
Well, I have read that liberals suffer from depression much higher rate than the rest of the population. So that's a good theory. No, I think Disney's sort of like has gotten sort of like the military-industrial complex where they just blow up movies because then they can make new ones and churn more money.
There you go. The Misses. Well, I'm going to note this. It's not Seven Dwarves anymore. They're just calling the movie Snow White because you can't have dwarves because that would be heightism or whatever.
And these 7 weirdos who are hanging out around her.
These seven people.
Brave and stunning people.
Brave and stunning. Remarkable diversity.
Right.
Yeah.
Diversity. 7 diversity hires. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going, okay, these are about magical. Okay. All right. Fine. Mrs. Here, you get your question.
Okay.
Mrs., do you think they'll do a movie where Mary aborts Jesus next? I mean, is that where Disney goes with this?
It's not off the table. I think that it's probably already in the works. I'm serious about that. I believe that.
Wouldn't that be stunning and brave and show that she doesn't need to be
absolutely
to no man?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mark, what's your take on that one?
Well, the liberals already, some of the feminists already argue that Mary was raped. So, by God, so yeah, I could see them doing a movie like that.
Okay. All right.
I wonder if they would bring back burning at the stake. Anyway.
Before this is done, that will happen. I'm just telling you, before this is done, that will happen. And we might be using everything on the internet, so they'll find a use for telephone poles. But I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, that is the way that they dealt with feminists back in the day. So.
Okay. All right.
Well, that was a new study that has been out in the past couple of weeks that Gen Z boys are overwhelmingly conservative.
Yep. Yes, indeed. All right. Our penultimate story of the evening. Scott Adams wrote a book, but Amazon won't look and banned him for life. Why? After being canceled for statements that we all know what Scott made, all of Scott's publishing rights reverted back to him. So he had a book that was going to be published this month, but his publisher said, nope, we're dropping you as fast as we can, but you get your publishing rights back. So he went to Amazon to publish it online. And since there was already a book by that title with that author name and that content, they banned him for life because he was publishing his own work that he owned legally. I'm thinking that after Bezos reads
He
about
clearly
all this,
has a
it'll get
lawsuit
fixed.
on that
Yeah.
because I've certainly read stories of people who have done that, and your rights revert to you, and it doesn't matter if it's still for sale on Amazon. You can sell your own stuff because you own the work.
Yep, it'll get fixed. But
Yeah.
regardless, how many copies are you going to buy, Mark?
I don't know because I don't know anything about the book. But he probably should sue them for selling the other stuff.
Well, no, the other one was never sold. It had a publishing date of like 2079. It was just a placeholder.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if they're saying that it's there, maybe you should sue them for that aspect of it.
There you go.
And he should sue the publisher because it's his book and he owns the intellectual property, right? They don't own it anymore. So they have to take that off of Amazon.
Yeah,
because it's not theirs.
The missus, I got to ask a question. In fact, they even dropped his back catalog. That's how much they were scared. The missus, here's your question.
Okay.
All right, do you have a cup of mug or a glass, a chalice, a sports time?
I do have a can of fizzy water.
A drinking vessel of any kind. Are you ready to join me tonight in the thing that makes everything better, the simultaneous sip? And here we go.
I almost choked on that.
All right. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Socialist scholar can't spare $1. Stupid commie Cornell West owes $500,000 in back taxes. Mark, how long would you or I spend in prison if we just stopped paying taxes?
Yeah, probably the rest of our lives.
See, but he's special because he's a communist and he wants everyone to pay their fair share. And by everyone, he means everyone but him.
Well, he just thinks that it'd be unfair if he had to pay taxes.
Right, exactly. He already pays enough. He already pays enough.
Under communist doctrine, it's only fair if the peasants are paying taxes.
Right, yeah. Because the people who are in charge they're too important to have to pay taxes. They do important things with their money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, your question again is as always vastly different from Mark's.
Okay.
The missus, with a name like Cornell West, shouldn't he really, instead of being a person, be a campus of Cornell and say someplace west of New York, like Pennsylvania?
Yes, he should be. He should be the campus that they bought the old Gibson's building, and then install. You can clearly tell it's a Gibson's building, but they just stick a little sign on that says Cornell West.
Yes,
it's the annex. It's the learning annex.
Like Yimmy Janssen.
It's where you can go take gardening classes.
Like Yimmy Janssen, who got his degree from Yale.
Yes.
Oh well, so I've got to tell you, this has been Think Real Fast. So I play the close.
Oh, okay.
Think real fast.
So I'm going to tell you a little story. This is not for anybody on the podcast, but for the listeners. The missus came home tonight and says, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I'm too tired. I didn't have time to put anything together. We can't do a podcast. And I said, the missus, this is not a problem. I can put together Think Real Fast, and we can do this. So my question is everybody happy if making the missus feel okay that she can skip out once in a while on doing that work that she does, and we can just do Think Real Fast all night? Everybody okay with that? Are you okay with that, Mark?
Oh, me? I thought you were asking the listeners. Oh.
Yeah, jump on in there. I am asking the listeners, too.
Okay. No, absolutely not. No. Force her to work like a slave.
And so far we've heard from Codex, said, oh, yeah, good fun. Tara Bright said, yeah, sounds good. And Tim Turner says, yes. So does that feel like the weight has been lifted off your shoulders?
It does. It does.
Yep. Um, Jim says he's happy, but he doesn't want to encourage the missus to skip out. So,
and I'm trying not to. I mean, I just have had zero time this week. I mean, the only thing I've had time to do when I'm home is sleep, and I haven't had enough of that at all.
Yeah, and I'm partially to blame for that. We haven't watched NFL in really years, and so I flipped on to that Johnny Manziel biography, and I should have known that it was going to keep the missus up as long as that thing was on, because it was like watching a train wreck in real time. So
oh my God, it was. He's such a douchebag.
Yes, but he's still got $8 million, so don't feel bad for him.
He probably doesn't have nearly that much. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. All right.
People who party like he did go through stuff like that pretty quickly.
And how much you get paid for the book, and how much you get paid? He's got
again. People run through that. You'd be surprised.
Indeed.
How many of those NFL guys who play 3 years, blow out their knee, and end up broke?
Right. So
because you have to pay for the entourage too, right?
You do, because they snort a lot of coke too. Mm-hmm. So do you feel a little bit better now?
I do. Yeah.
All right. Just like Sally Field, they love you. They really love you. So it's all good. All right, Mark. Any parting shots for the big show tonight?
No, I'm still mulling over whether we should do Think Real Fast.
Oh, we won't do it this episode then. We won't do it this episode. All right, and we will have to think about what we're going to do for episode 100, because it is a special episode.
Yeah.
Normally we do a clip show, but that's like a lot more work than doing a regular show. Work. So maybe we'll just bring out the bottles of Jack Daniels and not go to work the next morning, and then Mark can pretend that when he's drinking shots of 7-Up that the inebriation's real. There you go. And Tara Bright notes, do what you got to do. The blow must go on. I love it. All right. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming by to Bombs and Bants on Wednesday night. It's the very special Think Real Fast edition. As always, I'm John Wilder.
So this is Mark.
And I'm the missus, and I have to remind everyone, go to our Cafe Press store and buy your Midget Hammer Fighting World Tour t-shirt. And I'll try to get the flags up there, too. You're right. That belongs on a hand towel. And that's how you hit the post. Y'all come back now.